right? Things started changing. So you got in the market, the United States government is putting all this inflation in everywhere. And then you got unemployment going crazy. So meanwhile, I started noticing the stock market was going back up, but the dollar was dropping. So my question to you, with that being said, you know, when you're looking at these individual stocks, because I was really just trading like the Dow Jones gold and things of that nature. When you're looking at individual stocks, you're dealing with inflation during an emergency with unemployment. How does that affect your trading style specifically with stocks?
Oh, it's a lot goes into that. Like, for real. I actually, like I keep saying it, but I had to have an hour and a half class in my group about that, because what's happening is, this is why finding value is so important with the way that we invest, because there's no possible way that we can have 40 million people unemployed, right, and the stock market still be running up, right? Because the stock market is almost mirror-like of the economy, right? So if businesses are saying, listen, we can only have 25% open rate, 50% open rate, it's no way possible. I'm gonna be real. My Chipotle stock should have never ran from $4.25 to $1,087 in 6 weeks. It shouldn't have did that, right? But what happened was, because the Fed said, look, we gonna throw everything we got to keep this thing from sinking, that brought back, remember we talked about it, the stock market itself is based off of pessimism and optimism, greed and fear, right? It literally operated off greed. It simply said this: if the Fed is gonna print money, which they printed about $10 trillion, if they're gonna keep printing money and back these assets up, then we feel good about it. That's basically what they said. We don't care about people not shopping. We don't care about people not going out to eat. We don't care about none of that. Because the Fed say they're gonna pump money in that, we feel good about it. Market manipulation at its best. So quantitative easing. So what we need to do is, while we base it off value. So we gonna say this: March 23rd, I like to say keep our clips loaded. So we see the market going down, we find our value price, cool. Market hits our value price, we tap in. I like to call this a tranche. This is our first initial investment, right? We make this and we take our first position in there. Boom. If the market goes down, we do our second tranche, which is called averaging down. Because if you like a business at $100 and the fundamentals don't change, we like it at $50. Because we know this: the business model didn't change, the event that's going on in the economy changed. You with me?
I'm with you.
Right.
We trapping.
So another thing we look for is economic and cash strong businesses. We don't want no business that's over leveraged. If we get a business that's over leveraged, we put ourselves at susceptibility of that business going bankrupt. Now, there's a difference between chapter 11 and chapter 7, but we don't want no business that's going to flirt with that, right? So any business that had way too much debt, we don't want no part of that. Because what we do know is a second wave is going to come. And so if businesses barely made it out the first wave, what happens when the second wave comes? And they forced to shut us down. Now they saying, yo, we not going to shut this down no more. But if hundreds of thousands of people keep getting, they're going to have to shut us down. Or we just not going to want to go nowhere. And if you don't want to go nowhere and the businesses can't make money, now if your business is over leveraged, you flirting with bankruptcy. We want no part of that. So when we invest in cash strong businesses that are economically strong, and we find our value point, we can let it run, King. And I know that was kind of long, but you hit me on something that I've been preaching about for 3-4 weeks just now. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how the emotion, because I'm not an active trader like you. You feel what I'm saying? So my cousin do Forex, she active. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be like, yo, I don't live my life like that. You know what I'm saying? I find value, I dump my bread. If the market goes down, I dump more bread. If it goes up, I watch it run. So we're going to find value-based business, and I don't let the economy dictate what I'm doing, but they are 100% fluffing this economy right now. It should not be doing this. So I hope I answered your question, King. You hear me?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Trap. I appreciate the value, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Let me get 2 more questions, big bro.
All right. Let's go. Our next person we got is Ashley.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Quinn?
I'm doing all right. I just wanted clarification on when you were saying for people to go ahead and, buy stock with the bank you have. Are you also, do all banks pay the dividends? Because I know my credit union definitely pays dividends back, and it's real nice. My local credit union here. But I never, when I had Wells Fargo, and I'm mainly been sticking with them just out of brand loyalty. But even
I don't
though
like that brand though.
yeah, I won't say even though they've been having issues,
Yeah, I don't like them.
and
Yeah.
it's just convenient. Like I didn't even have to apply for a line of credit; they just gave me a personal line of credit for $5,000. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just stay. But overall, like looking at them, I'm like, nah, I'm good. But like you were saying, we don't shop around sometimes, just being out of brand loyal.
Yeah. And so a lot of things, just to get into that too, that's a great, see how you, look, that was a gem you just blessed the community with, and they don't even know it. Look for businesses that have brand loyalty. Businesses that have brand loyalty, we call that a moat, right? A competitive edge. You see how the Queen said, I'm just there because it's out of convenience. How many times do we do things out of convenience, right? The reason why I probably will never get an Android, not probably because it ain't a better phone, but because all of my stuff is on Apple. So the convenience, it's too inconvenient for me to switch my products from Apple to Android, right? It's an inconvenience for me. So businesses that have brand loyalty, look for them type of businesses. They're great when they when their fundamentals are right, but we call that a moat. So most of the banks will pay dividends. Matter of fact, they pay dividends. That's what makes banks attractive. Dividends, yep, like Nike, Apple, Nike, Microsoft, Google. These businesses have brand loyalty. Starbucks, brand loyalty. You may not like it, it's unhealthy. McDonald's, brand loyalty. People ain't going to a Home Depot, brand loyalty. AT&T, brand loyalty. Companies that have brand loyalty are great to be with. But most of your financial, most of the companies in the banking section of the financials will pay dividends, Queen.
Okay. Next we
got. I
got.
just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
No problem.
Next we got Aisha.
Hi, good evening, Trap. How you doing?
What's good, Quinn?
So, my question is about like the percentage of shares that are released to the market. Is that another thing to look for?
So that's called outstanding shares. So every company will have outstanding shares. That's you're gonna tap that into market cap. Now I'm gonna tell you how that's kind of tricky, because I can have 10 shares and him 500. Marcus can have 20 shares. Mine could be going for $1 a share, and his could be going for 50 cents a share. But because they equal the same thing, make sense? Now, The thing is this. Outstanding shares just represent how many shares that a business has on the market, right? So you don't have to pay too much attention to it, because that's not a deciding factor on if you buy or not, right? Okay. But what you do want to pay attention to is this. If you see a business say we are doing a second offering, which means they're putting more shares on the market, you want to be mindful of that, because that's called diluted shares. Any business that does second offerings, they dilute the previous shares in there. You kind of want to be mindful of that, because anytime you add more, you take value from what's already there. Make sense?
Yep, definitely. Thank you.
100%. 100%, Queen.
Okay, we got one more question from Ndidi.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to mute my phone. Hi, thank you for doing this. Question that is pretty simple. I just wanted to know, what kind of books would you recommend for those of us who are trying to like get a little bit more knowledge and just to, I've been investing, and I'll tell you, like when I first started, what I'll do was I'll just go and look up articles that say, oh, invest in this. So most of my investments, like in the beginning, were just like crappy stocks, and they're like $2, and they're not moving even after holding them for like 2 years. So I just kind of want to know, like, just in regards to like knowledge, what books
All
would you
right.
recommend?
So let me say this, right? So let me say this. Every book you can get on investment, investing in the stock market, is a good book. I'm gonna be real with you, because every book will teach you something different. I done started from Warren Buffett, and I done went way down a rabbit hole, right? So any book that you can get on it, if you just want to get a book, get Investing for Dummies or something. You know what I'm saying? Like any book, because I'm gonna tell you, I have over 500 books. When people ask me what book to read, I be like, yo, start with one and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Start with one book and keep on running it up. Don't stop. Keep learning. I hope my brother don't mind me about to say this, but right now I am doing my thing for 40% off my Wall Street trapping course. If you want to tap into that, just shoot me a DM and say him 500, and I'm gonna shoot you that.
Thank you.
Return for your students.
Huh?
The average return for you and your students playing stock market.
So I don't ask my students their returns. I kind of try to stay out of that. Because I think more of them are more so on, a lot of them are just starting. Some of them who have been in it for a while, they kind of just been focusing on getting started, buying good businesses. For me, I think right now we up like 62% on the market this year. Last year, I think we did 29%. So I've been doing pretty good, but I don't ask my students what they average return, because I'm not trading. If I was trading, then I'll be like, yo, what we doing? But I don't want them to get caught up in that. My goal for my students is to basically find good businesses, get them at a good price. I think when we look at, because I can easily tell them how to get 6%. Just go buy an index fund. I can easily tell them how to get 8% if I want to just make the numbers look good. Like, yo, go get these index funds, go get these ETFs. Nah, so my goal for them is always research, find price points, find exit points, find strategy points. And for them, I don't want them to focus on beating the market. I want them to focus on finding good investments. When you find good investments, the rest is going to take care of itself. But me personally, oh yeah, we up like 60-some% right now.
We got one question in the chat. My man Isaac said, don't forget to tell them about the capital gains taxes before you get out of here.
Oh, 100%. So one of the things, a great question. The reason why, one of the things I tell people all the time is we hold our stocks for a year and a day if we can bear it. Year and a day is because capital gains your capital gains going to go down. So capital gains is you're going to get taxed on the profits that you make on all your investments. The thing about investing is it's not about how much money you make. It's always about how much money you can keep. Always about how much money you can keep. And so with stocks and even with other things, for stocks for sure, it's a year and a day. I do my best. If I got to get out of position, and in which the world is, I've never put myself in that type of situation because we find value, right? Because we find value, we can hold stocks for whatever long. We can take profits after that year and a day. But always do a year and a day if you can. Anything longer than that is even better because your capital gains tax will go down. I'm talking about significantly, from 20% to like 12%. All behind a year and a day. So again, it's not about how much money you make. It's always about how much money you keep.
I got one question. Last question.
Come on, bro. You know that.
Last question of the night. All right. And this ain't even, this gonna be a blanket statement that's gonna help people alleviate with even playing with taxes. But I don't know if you in this lane already or playing with this yet. But do you play with trust yet?
Who?
Trust.
Oh, I'm getting into it now.
Okay.
That's what I'm working on now.
So now because what I'm looking at when we're talking about building, parking our wealth, parking our money, that's what I'm looking at as another thing, is that sparked me to go, okay, what about taxes?
Yep.
Because when the trust owns it, you're not penalized on taxes if you can defer it, correct?
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
That's actually what I've been digging into lately. I'm gonna give her a huge shout out. Her name is Lindsay Smith. Lindsay is on the gram. I'm in the process of now working with her. We're getting $1 million insurance policy right now. She is amazing when it comes to insurance, and between her and my CPA, we've been breaking down things and putting me a trust together, because once you start acquiring different things, we need to have that in play. We doing ourselves and our families a disservice if we don't have things like the right amount of life insurance, the right trust in play, we doing ourselves a disservice, yo. You know what I'm saying? A real disservice. And for me, coming from the street, I'm not gonna lie, all that was brand new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like brand, I was like, what? You don't just put it? They're like, no. Literally, I had to ask myself, like my first policy deposit I got now is like $160,000. And so $50,000, and Liz was like, let me ask you a question. She was like, how long you think that's gonna last your people once you gone? I was like, damn. She was like, yeah. She was like, insurance is not about just covering you. And I said, you're right, because you dead longer than you alive, right? You dead longer than you alive. And she was like, would you want the lifestyle for your family to decrease after you go? And I was like, oof, that hit me different right there. You know what I'm saying? So that hit me different. So we in a process right now of building a trust and putting my, getting me the $1 million policy. So that was a life change for me. So definitely, bro, I'm like definitely tapped into that trust situation as we speak. Real talk.
So we're gonna tap in and talk on it
for sure
a little bit more. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all got value tonight. Drop 100 in the chat. And
for sure.
Again, man, Trapper, man, we appreciate you taking the time out, coming and really just blessing us with the information. So
for sure, man. Man, it's my brother, man. I appreciate you, man. We tap it up, we chop in anytime, man. You need me, man, let me know, man. I'm here, man.
All right. So
already, brother.
That's the Amplified.